A crosstown rivalry unlike any other. It's the Cincinnati Bearcats and the Xavier Musketeers on Bearcast Sports Radio alongside Aiden Riggs. I'm Ethan Herzog, and Aiden made the trip 3 miles. We were blessed yesterday with a huge win for the Cincinnati men's team as they beat the Xavier Musketeers 68-65 in thrilling fashion. But let's start. What a game.
What an experience. That truly whole day was what an experience. To be able to be in that arena of such a high magnitude matchup and watch one of the biggest rivalries in college basketball and see the Bearcats break the streak the Musketeers had. It was so fun to be at, and that was so much just amazing all around.
I mean, that 5-year win streak for Xavier, it was looking down for Cincinnati, and Wes Miller felt like he had to win that game. He was able to get the win with his guys finally at Fifth Third Arena, his first win over Xavier as the head coach of the Cincinnati Bearcats. And on the other side, now with the women, we're going to preview this matchup here that will tip off in about 9 minutes. The Cincinnati Bearcats head coach, Katrina Merriweather, is 10-0 all-time against the Xavier Musketeers. 4-0 as a head coach, and 4-0 as a player, and 6-0 as a head coach between her time at Wright State, at Memphis, and at Cincinnati, and one as a graduate assistant with the Cincinnati Bearcats in 2001. But nonetheless, a long-standing rivalry between these two. The last time the Bearcats came to the Cintas Center was in 2022 when they would fall to the Xavier Musketeers by a score of 49-35, I believe, was the score that you mentioned to me in the before we went on air. I am terrible and have forgotten the score of that last 48-35. That was 1 point off, but it's been 2 years removed since Cincinnati has stepped foot on this floor. That was still when Coach Michelle Clark-Hurd was the leader of the Bearcats. She, of course, the following year was let go. Katrina Merriweather was brought back the legacy of that 1997 to 2000 Bearcat program that was led by head coach Lori Pirtle. And Katrina Merriweather now had seen a win with the Bearcats as a head coach at Fifth Third Arena in front of a massive crowd of 5,013. And no, I'm not making that number up. And now looks for her first win at the helm of Cincinnati, back on the familiar floor in Cintas Center.
This will be a fun one. I'm really looking forward to this. This Bearcats team is really coming together. You know, those first couple games of the year, I was a little anxious watching them play because they've got higher expectations this year. Last year was definitely the building block where you're like, hey, let's just get everything figured out. We're slowly getting our way into this system with Katrina. Now, this team wants to win. This team is all in, trying to come together, and to get a big win in a rivalry game like this is going to go a long way for this team.
The Cincinnati team, they want to win, they find ways to win, and it all starts with Jillian Hayes, number 20, who has come back for her 5th year, who is the star-studded Bearcat that has hailed from Cincinnati, has a long-standing history with the city. Her father coached for the Cincinnati Bengals. Her mother was 1995 Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year and has been lights out for Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean, I've called her the rock of this team in past games, and that's truly the best way I can describe her. Everything runs through her. Jillian Hayes down low is a wrecking ball when it comes to defenders trying to block her. It seems like all they can do really at this point is foul her and send her to the line. And then she's even got now a threat with that mid-range shot where we've seen her make a couple baskets this year already. And she's everything that the Bearcats could want, and she's really just showed up this year.
And on the other side, Lauren Christie, the San Francisco transfer hailing from London, England, a 6'3" graduate forward who talked a lot of smack in the week coming up to this matchup, saying that she was going to lock down Jillian Hayes inside the paint, and we'll see how she fares as she takes on the first ever Big 12 honorable mention All-American, by the way. Don't know if you knew that one, but Lauren Christie comes into this game. She started all 9 so far this season, 44 of 86 on the year, has a total of 108 points, 58 rebounds on the team, and she is that strong leader for the Xavier Musketeers.
Yeah, and an interesting stat I'm looking at when it comes to her, she's got 20 blocks through 9 games right now. Of course, Jillian Hayes, we know she's on her way to trying to become, I believe, the all-time block leader at UC in her own right. But you got to watch out for Christy down low. She had 35 blocks during the 21-22 season at Buffalo. So this would be a great matchup between two bigs that really stronghold their teams.
Now, Jillian Hayes, you mentioned the milestone she's looking for. She's 10 blocks away from becoming the UC career block shot leader. She surpassed 900 rebounds a short time ago, and she is 53 free throws away from becoming UC's career free throws made leader. Is also 6 games away from becoming UC's leader in games played throughout the course of her 5-year career. We're going to step aside, take a quick break, and we'll be right back with the rest of the pregame show right here on Bearcast Sports Radio. Back to the Cintas Center we go. We're just moments away from tip-off here on Bearcast Sports Radio, joined alongside Aiden Riggs and Ethan Herzog. And we have your starting lineups here for you, starting with the host team in the Xavier Musketeers. At guard, wearing number 5 is Taylor Purvis. At guard, wearing number 8 is Mary Canerva. Wearing number 31 at guard is Rooney Oreo. Forward, wearing number 1 is Lauren Christie. And at forward, wearing number 15 is Petra Obor Uliva.
We've had some teams with some crazy names. This might take the cake, though.
And you look at this roster as well. They are a foreign-led roster. Looking at this, there are only 3 that hail from the United States of America, 1 from Cincinnati. The other 2 are from Houston, Texas. A transfer from the University of Houston, and the other from Bridgeport, Connecticut. She's a transfer from Iona. Now looking at the starting lineup for the Cincinnati Bearcats. Once again, I say this all the time on Fox 1360. It's rinse and repeat here for Cincinnati. Tanea Hilton, Reagan and Ariel Jackson, Jillian Hayes and Allianz and Diba all lead the way for Cincinnati coming out. And you're going to see very quick substitutions early, including Chloe Mann, who has been a star-studded freshman for Cincinnati in year 1.
Yeah, I mean, we talked a lot in the offseason, or really early in the season, that Cincinnati needed to find someone to step up and be a point guard. And they didn't have a ton of point guards last year, anyone that could really man the ball to start off, taking it up the floor. Tanea Hilton has stepped up so much in that role, and she really does just lead the offense in a way I haven't seen them do in the past 2 years. I mean, it's so impressive what she has done to this offense.
Sorry, I was watching the the intro video is a 4-4 creative product, a local Cincinnati industry led by Voice of FC Cincinnati, Tommy Galetter. fantastic stuff here. Anyway, I digress, and let's go back to talking about Cincinnati here for a second. But Tanea Hilton, it was that missing guard. You are very correct in that, and followed up by the speed of Chloe Mann. I mean, track state champion back home in Texas, and you have Reagan Jackson, who can play that dribble drive guard, but also has the ability to go out and take that long-range three and kind of solidify that lead that they have. Last time out against Western Illinois, she had a career-high 5 made three-pointers and had a career-high 29 points.
It's just so impressive. I mean, the way that these new players have come in and stepped up and embraced the role, it's so impressive how each and every one have just come out and played.
You have 3 different transfers here for Cincinnati. Daly Dunn hails from Loyola Marymount, her previous school, also spent some time at Fresno State before transferring to Loyola Marymount. Tanea Hilton, also a transfer from Texas A&M, and Alliance Diba, a JUCO product. She transferred in from Arizona Western, hails from Lubumbashi, Congo. She played 3 years at Arizona Western, was granted a medical redshirt in the 2022-23 season, averaged 13.9 points per game and 12.4 rebounds per game last season. Was named the NJCAA Division I Women's Basketball First Team All-American and ACC/AC Player and Freshman of the Year in 2022.
Alliance has really impressed me so far this year with how she has meshed together with Jillian Hayes, having 2 big men down low, being able to complement each other so well, because Jillian can play up a little bit while Ndiba's down low, and they really haven't taken away from each other's production. They both have been producing so much better. We saw, of course, Jillian a couple weeks ago had a rougher game, and Alliance really stepped up and filled the role. It's just, I love that connection in that duo.
Now, just think how much better it's going to be when you get Destiny Thomas back, who was the starting center for Cincinnati last year, 6'4". She's on the injured list right now, along with Aisha Dia as well. No real timeline for when they'll come back, and my time talking with Katrina Merriweather in the pregame shows hasn't disclosed as of much, but it is getting better. They are playing in practice, and they are getting better. It's just going to be a minute before they step onto the floor, but hopefully ready for conference play, which comes up next week to the day as Cincinnati takes the trip out to Kansas State. I make the trip out with them to Manhattan, Kansas. Very excited for that one, but we are underway, and tip-off is coming right now, and it's up and won by Cincinnati. Alliance Ndiba beats the attempt from Lauren Christie. Tanea Hilton stands at the timeline with a fresh 10 to go here in the first quarter. It's Cincinnati and Xavier here in the 46th annual Skyline Chili Crosstown Shootout. Ariel Jackson drives through the lane, tries to put up a shot, and it missed. It's going to be rebounded by Purvis, and she's going to throw it down the floor to Canerva. Canerva outside the arc, going to do a short little pass inside to Christie, who knocks it back out and poked away, but a foul called on Tanea Hilton. She can't believe the foul call, but she surely would have had a scoop and score coming up.
The turnover numbers are something I'm really going to watch for, because UC, we know, loves to force some turnovers in this game. They're averaging 10 steals a game, along with the Musketeers averaging 9.4. Watch out for that all game.
Xavier gets the and 1 to go and has a 2-point, possibly a 3-point lead over Cincinnati here early. 9:25 to go in the first quarter. Foul called on Cincinnati, and you mentioned it before. The turnovers that Xavier has, they have the 3rd most turnovers in the Big East Conference with 533 on the year so far. Cincinnati, they play that turnover game well. Shot goes up, and it is no good. So 2-point lead for Cincinnati after the missed free throw from Purvis. Cincinnati quickly down the floor. Here goes Ariel Jackson. Lost the rock, was able to recover. Kicks it back out top of the circle to Tanea Hilton. She's a couple steps from the top. Has a screen option, but pulls up from 3 anyway. Off the back iron, no good. Offensive board for Alliance. She puts up a shot. It's up, no good. Gets her own rebound. Third attempt is up and no good. Ball gets smacked out of bounds. Last touched by Jillian Hayes.
Alliance refused to give up on that one. She got 2 offensive boards on her own shots, and the Bearcats were playing with a little bit of speed there as well.
Alliance had her first double-double as a Bearcat last time out against Western Illinois. Now a full court press coming from Cincinnati. Xavier moving from left to right on your radio dial, wearing the all-whites. They're able to pass through the timeline as Jillian Hayes has the ball knocked loose, and she's going to pick it up. Offensive opportunity for Cincinnati to try and tie this up under the basket. Up, no good, as it's wide, but a foul called on Jillian Hayes as she taps her head. Says that she may have gotten hit in the head, but it's going to be a foul on Jill instead.
This, with how it's going, I can already tell the Bearcats are going to find themselves in foul trouble. Tanea Hilton's already got 2. You're a minute and a half into the game, and Jillian Hayes has 1. They're going to have to figure out a way to play around that.
Full court press now for Cincinnati, wearing the all blacks with red trim. As Xavier able to almost escape, but it's tipped in by Reagan Jackson. Taken away. Long range 2, up and good. Tied up at 2 between Cincinnati and Xavier. 8.5 to play in the first quarter.
I've been so impressed how the Bearcats have adapted this press. Ever since they were met with it by Seton Hall, they've adapted their own game.
Cincinnati tried the press one more time. Couldn't quite get there. Had an open 3, but was close. Purvis almost had the shot. Sends it over to Obliova. Passes it downward to Oreo. Oreo kicks it back to Canerva. Canerva 6 seconds on the timer. Into the corner. Now inside the lane to Christie. Tries to back up against Allianz and Diba. Passes it out. Intercepted by Jillian Hayes. Cincinnati has it back. under 8 to play here in the first quarter. Behind the back dribble from Tanea Hilton. She steps outside the 3-point mark. Tries to get the offense set up here. Through the leg dribble this time. Fancy handling here from Tanea. She fires one inside. Has Allianz, but a foul called on Xavier's number 15, Petra Oboryalova. It'll be a baseline inbound for the Bearcats. And a quick substitution. Here comes Brianna Byers subbing in for Allianz and Diba. And that's something, too, that Jordan Merriweather has said time and time again, is she'll sub out Allianz often just to make sure that she has her stamina up to play through for a full 40 minutes.
Yeah, and having someone like Byers be able to come off the floor come onto the floor that quickly is a big plus, because she can really fill that gap that Allianz plays.
Big defensive specialist in Brianna Byers. We saw it a lot last year as well. She got brought on as a freshman. Katrina Merriweather's staff brought it in. Ariel, quick inbound. Jillian Hayes puts up a shot, and it's wide. Tanea Hilton tries to knock the rebound back out, but it's grabbed by Canerva. Xavier back down the floor, tied up at 2, 7.5 to play in the first quarter. Here is Canerva, and a travel called on the Musketeers. So we'll give it right back to Cincinnati.
There's something I feel like we should mention is how much red is in this arena.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say that.
There is a lot of red in the Cintas Center today.
And I don't know what that really says, but maybe just the fact that Katrina Merriweather has brought such a product to Cincinnati. It's been an impressive watch here too in the Big 12. Chloe Mann subs into the game for the Bearcats. Freshman, the star, driving through the lane, is able to get past the timeline, kicks it back out beyond the arc. Ariel Jackson staying at the Xavier logo at midcourt, drives through the lane, puts up a shot, and gets an unfriendly bounce. Offensive board for Jillian Hayes, can't force the foul. It's going to be rebounded by Lopez, and back down the floor they go. Here comes Canerva. Takes it back out, right side to Lopez. Lopez dribbles it back top of the key. Here's Lauren Christie going up against Jillian Hayes. Hands it back off to Oreo. Oreo's 3 is off the front rim. Offensive board for Xavier. They're going to kick it back out beyond the arc. 18 seconds to go on the shot clock. 6:50 to play in the first quarter. Canerva able to escape a little bit. Takes a couple steps towards midcourt. Now trying to drive inside off the screen of Christie. Fires it back to Christie, who hands it right back to her, top of the circle. Fires it back out to the wing. It's going to be knocked out and pressed out of bounds by Canerva, and it'll be a Cincinnati ball after the turnover.
Mentioned turnovers earlier. You got to watch out for it with, Xavier's a team that's going to turn the ball over every once in a while, and the Bearcats not afraid to force them themselves.
Xavier 5 turnovers so far in the first 6.5 minutes. Here's Ariel Jackson on the left wing. She's trying to rotate back towards the right side. Finds Chloe Mann standing at the Cintas Center logo on the floor. She drives through the lane. Gonna try and make a move inside, but gets called for a travel. She moved her plant foot.
Turnovers going both ways now here, too.
It's actually the first turnover for Cincinnati today. 6 turnovers between the two teams. Xavier with 5. Here come the Musketeers down the floor. Canerva with the rock. She's going to cross the center court line. Met by Chloe Mann halfway. It's going to hand it over to Lopez, who hands it back over to Canerva with some help. Fires inside the lane, puts up a shot, and it's up and good. Lopez gets 2 more. Now 2 scorers for Xavier. Lopez and Canerva both with 2. A light full court press coming from Xavier. Cincinnati's able to evade. Ariel Jackson tries to drive through, is denied. Now a nice press and poked out by Lopez. It's going to have 21 seconds on the clock, on the shot clock for Cincinnati. The Bearcats seem a little shaken up coming into this arena, trying to get their footing here. Xavier letting them have all that they know. 4-2, Xavier leads, 5:46 to play in the first quarter. Here's Ariel Jackson, bounce pass over to Chloe Mann. Mann standing on the left wing, rotates over to the right side. She's top of the circle, trying to get around her defender in Purvis. Pulls up for a deep two, top of the key. It rattles around and is out. And a foul called on Jillian Hayes. That's her second of the day.
Just went over the back on that. She was trying to get on top of her to grab that rebound. Second foul already for Hayes. You got Hayes with 2, Hilton with 2.
4 fouls so already for the Bearcats in this first quarter. Almost a bonus situation here for Cincinnati through the first 5 minutes. 5.5 to play first quarter. A heavy press coming for Cincinnati. 20 seconds on the timer for the Musketeers to shoot. Canerva has it top of the circle. She fires it over to the left. Has Purvis. She almost lost it. Oreo now receiving the pass. Gives it over to Christie. Christie top of the key. Bounce pass underneath. Puts up a shot and gets it to go.
That was that home roll off that rim. It sat on the rim for 2 seconds and fell in.
Ariel Jackson has it. Trying to get the offense squared away here. Jillian Hayes, deep 2 on the way. It's good.
There's that mid-range. Mentioned it pregame. She's really developed it this year. Sinks that one, gets the Cats within 2.
Cincinnati ends a 2.5-minute scoring drought over Xavier. 6-4, Xavier leads. Here's a drive, backdoor, kicks it back out, 3-point on the way. It is up and good. What an open shot from Lopez, and she has 7 on the day. Cincinnati's going to try and pick up the pace here. Ariel Jackson fumbled with it for a little bit, was able to recover. Looks for the backdoor, takes a deep 2 instead, and it's perfect.
That was so pretty. The step back 2 from Ariel Jackson.
9-6 now, Xavier's lead by 3. 4:20 to play here in the first quarter. Canerva has it. Kicks it over into the corner to Oreo. Oreo with a little bit of help, rotates around the world. Finds a inlet over to Christie. Christie goes over Jillian Hayes. Can't get the shot to land. Reagan Jackson fights for the offensive board, but muscled away by Xavier. Puts it over. Christie puts a shot up, and it's good. 2 more for the Musketeers. 11-6 is their lead here in the first quarter. Chloe Mann with a little bit of burst of speed. Fires it over to Reagan Jackson. Pump fakes the 3. Gets it back over to the top of the circle to Chloe Mann. Mann sending a couple steps from center court. Fires it over to Ariel Jackson. She replaces her in that same spot. Ariel Jackson, pump fakes the 3. Tries to get a bounce pass inside, but a miscommunication turns the ball over for Cincinnati. Here comes Lauren Christie. Sends it forward, and that first shot misses. Offensive board for Xavier, and a jump ball called. It's going to stay with Xavier off the possession. And that'll send us to the first media timeout of the game. Xavier leads at 11-6 over Cincinnati in the Skyline Chili Crosstown Shootout. We'll be right back after this. Xavier holding a 11-6 lead over the Cincinnati Bearcats here in the Crosstown Shootout. A held ball is going to be gifted back to Xavier, and The story's been so far, Cincinnati just can't get it going offensively. They're shooting 25% from the field. They've missed a three-pointer. And Xavier, they've connected on 5 of their 8 shots.
Not really protecting the ball well either so far. 2 turnovers for the Bearcats. Of course, the Musketeers do have 5. The Bearcats just aren't capitalizing off these turnovers. They only have 2 points off those 5 turnovers. They got to figure out a way defensively to stop them as well. The Musketeers are finding some holes in the Bearcats' defense early.
And in my experience, this team is a second quarter team. That first quarter, always a little slow, but I feel like that's typical if you look at any team across most sports at any level. They're going to take that first quarter, they're going to take it to analyze, see what's working, see what's not working, then come up with the game plan. And that's a lot of what Katrina Merriweather did last year. She would have a lot of quick substitutions in that first quarter. She'd have 10 substitutions in that first frame. And after that, it was a lot of holding the same patterns that she knows works. Xavier now with the inbound on the baseline. Canerva, bounce pass, kicks it back out instead. Here's a little bit of movement. Now a corner 3 comes off the rim, no good. Rebounded by Jillian Hayes. Julia Garcia-Roge enters in for Xavier. Now Ariel Jackson with it down the other end of the floor for the Bearcats. Gets it all the way down to the near side of the floor. Reagan Jackson tries to get off the screen of Jillian Hayes. Kicks it back to Hayes. Hayes driving inside the lane. 2-step up, and it is up and good. Cuts the lead back now to 4, 11-8.
Beautiful drive from Hayes on that one. Easily able to put it up and off the glass net. Need more of those baskets from her.
Xavier back on offense, trying to hold on to this lead for the remainder of the first quarter. 2:54 to go in this first frame. Here is Canerva. Canerva fires it from elbow to wing. That shot off the back iron, rebounded by Jillian Hayes. In Cincinnati, game plan might be to try and force these 3-pointers that Xavier can't quite make as Chloe Mann tries to get a pass over to Reagan Jackson, but missed the cut. It's going to turn the ball back over to Xavier.
You know, you see right after that, too, Jillian Hayes immediately comes over to Chloe Mann and talks to her, gets in her ear. She was kind of hugging her, too. You just see, we talked about the leadership role that Jillian Hayes has, getting with the freshmen after that little mishap. She's got to lead this team.
She's had a good job doing so through her 5-year career as a Bearcat. Gets it over. As Xavier trying to hold on to this lead. Lopez with the rock. Gets it over to Mayo. Mayo tries for the back door. Lofts one up, and it's wide. Rebounded easily by Chloe Mann on the backside. Mann behind the back dribble. Nice handle there. Tries to pull it for a 3. Fakes the 3. Gets it over to Reagan Jackson on the right wing. Jackson rotates over to the left a couple of steps. Now back into the corner for Brianna Byers. Byers is 16 seconds on a timer. Long range 2, up no good. Fight for the rebound is won by the Musketeers. Lopez grabbed the board. Here comes the Musketeers. Garcia-Roge on the wing, top of the circle. Hanging out in that same spot. It's Purvis, fires it down right side. Almost lost a rock. Chloe Mann comes screaming in to try and fight for the ball with Lauren Christie. Now an open 3-pointer for Xavier, and it's off the back iron, and the board snagged. A strong rebound from Brianna Byers. The Bearcats are back in action offensively. Gets it over to Reagan Jackson, now back to Ariel Jackson. She's standing a couple steps on the top of the circle. Now over to left wing, fires it inside. Brianna Byers spins around, drives, puts up a shot, and it's up no good. Jillian Hayes fights for the rebound, but it's going to be knocked out of bounds by Lauren Christie. Good strong fight there and some substitutions. Delaney Snyder's going to come onto the floor for Brianna Byers.
Jillian Hayes, a couple drives ago for the Musketeers, had a block, and that moves her to now 9 away from being the all-time leader at UC.
Hayes, aforementioned, gets the rock, deep 2 on the way, rattles around, unfriendly bounce. Delaney Snyder cleans it up and gets it to go. And 1 for Delaney Snyder, a chance to tie it up.
There's Delaney Snyder filling in that hole with Alianza Diva on the bench, using her big frame down low to gather that offensive board. Now he's got a chance to tie this game up.
The 6'5" center, the tallest member of the Bearcats roster, had 2 rebounds and a steal last time out. And 1 converted. Tied up at 11. 1:02 remaining in the first quarter. Back to the full-court press for Cincinnati. Back and forth, trying to keep this rock in possession of the Musketeers, and they will do so, but not for long as Jillian Hayes intercepts it. Chloe Mann gets an open ball, 3-ball on the way. It's off the rim, no good. Offensive board for Delaney Snyder, and she gets another one.
That's an offensive foul on Delaney Snyder.
I guess she got called for the push-off, going for that board on Oreo, and it's going to turn the ball back over to Xavier. But Cincinnati forcing turnovers left and right. It looks like I'm not sure.
Xavier's in the bonus
situation,
yes.
So it'll be shots for Oreo. It almost looked like a timeout. The way that the teams were heading to their huddles, but first free throw is missed by Oreo.
That was a very interesting set of events because the Bearcats thought they had an and one opportunity. It's called off and called an offensive foul. Everyone just kind of froze.
Oreo missed her first free throw of the year. She's now 5 for 6. Xavier as a team has the second worst free throw percentage in the Big East. Under a minute to play here. Cincinnati with the rock. They can have the second to last shot here in the quarter. Ariel Jackson with it, letting as much time dwindle away as possible. Reagan Jackson, top of the circle, fires it over to the right side on the wing. Ariel Jackson lobs it. Delaney Snyder catches the pass. She backs up her man, puts up a shot, and it's wide. Fights for the offensive board, but can't quite get there. Bodies collide. Delaney Snyder hits the floor. Xavier has it for the final shot. 16 seconds to go in the first quarter. Since Xavier leads by 1, 12-11. Here's Garcia Roge. Drives a little bit. Pass inside. Oreo spins around. Blocked by Jillian Hayes. Hayes gets it to Chloe Mann. Mann with a second. She lobs one deep, but it's going to be short and caught over the shoulder by Delaney Snyder. And that is how the first quarter will come to a close. Xavier leads by 1, 12-11 here in the 46 Skyline Chili Crosstown Shootout. We'll be back with the start of the second quarter here in just a moment here on Bearcast Sports Radio. One quarter gone, second quarter just about underway here from the Cintas Center. Aiden Riggs, Ethan Herzog here with you on Bearcat Sports Radio. Xavier leading 12-11 against Cincinnati Bearcats. Cincinnati and Xavier now sharing the same amount of made shots with 5 apiece. The only difference is that Xavier has made a singular three-point bucket. And on the other end, Cincinnati has 1 free throw, but Xavier has had 3 but made 1.
Yeah, I think that the board was wrong. Caught me completely off guard with it saying the Bearcats have 12 fouls. They've only got 5, luckily. I was very scared when I saw that at first, but that is something we're going to have to watch out for with these Bearcats. You got, of course, Danae Hilton has 2, and Jillian Hayes has 2. You got to just watch out for that. The Bearcats got to use their depth a little bit. We saw at times they were a little shaky offensively. They couldn't quite get the ball to drop in their favor. So they got to figure something out going here offensively.
3 substitutions so far for Cincinnati. Delaney Snyder, Brianna Byers, and Chloe Mann have all come in off the bench. And off of that, the bench point comparison is 3 bench points out of the 11 scored for Cincinnati. The Bearcats have the rock out of the break. Allianson Deber receives a pass from Chloe Mann. Mann still wide open, has to jump up to receive the high pass from Allianson Deba. Mann sends it back top of the circle to Jillian Hayes. Hayes fires it back. Chloe Mann, open three on the way, and it is off the rim and no good. Rebounded by Xavier. Here come the Musketeers back on offense for the first time in the corner. It's Canerva with the rock, guard against Chloe Mann. Canerva finds open Lopez on the floor. Lopez down back to Canerva. Canerva, Lopez again. Bounce pass underneath to Lauren Christie. Christie spin move against Alliance and Diva, and a travel called on Christie. Turns the ball back over to Cincinnati.
We talked about it in the pregame that this game could come down to a battle between Christie and Jillian Hayes. And right now when you're looking at it, Jillian Hayes just a little bit ahead of her, 4 points compared to 2.
Tanea Hilton is going to advance up the floor past the timeline, avoiding the full court press from Xavier easily. Ariel Jackson, left wing, tries to get it centrally. Tanea Hilton almost has it stripped away, but strong hands keep it with the Bearcats. Lofts one up, draws the foul. It's going to be the first trip to the line for Tanea Hilton today. Tanea Hilton, the 6th best free throw shooter in the Big 12 so far this season. She shoots. Sorry, I keep interrupting you. She shoots at a .833 clip.
I talked about it pregame, how it's been so impressive how she's really manned this offense in general. And it's something that we talk about needing to find an answer offensively for the Bearcats today. She's might need to step up a little bit to do some of those drives hard inside into the paint and take those fouls, get to the line, get some offense.
First shot up and good for Tanea Hilton. She had 14 made last time out as the second one rings out. It's going to be rebounded by Xavier, even at 12 now in the second quarter. Here come the Musketeers as Canerva. It's back to Lopez, top of the circle, finds it over to Purvis. Purvis bounce pass over top of the key now to Lauren Christie. Christie guard against Jillian Hayes for the moment. 14 seconds on the timer. Drives inside, spins around, puts a shot up off the glass and no good. Rebounded by Alliance and Diva. Bearcats back in action offensively here. Ariel Jackson moving down the far side of the floor. Has Alliance and Diva and a tough foul coming up. Trying to get the steal is Daniela Lopez, but almost bodies Alliance and Diva. Now be the second foul for Xavier of the quarter. It's going to be a sideline inbound. Xavier 2 fouls, Cincinnati none. 8.5 to play here in the first half. Tanea Hilton receives the sideline inbound. 19 seconds on the timer. Hilton back to Ariel Jackson, left wing. Rotates back to the right, top of the circle. Lost the handle, is able to recollect. Top of the key now, Jillian Hayes. Hayes driving inside, jumps over a man, lost the ball out of bounds, and it'll be a turnover for Cincinnati. 4th one of the day.
Yeah, that one doesn't help. Jillian Hayes was just trying to drive down low, just lost possession of it. Gives the ball right back to the Musketeers.
Something about this floor, it's been turnover after turnover for both teams, as Xavier has 7, Cincinnati has 4, combining for 11. Down the floor quickly, Xavier goes up, tries to put up a shot, and it's wild, rebounded by Jillian Hayes. Quickly down the floor we go. Ariel Jackson, left wing. Fires it inside. Alliance and Diva spins around, puts it up off the glass, and it rings out. Unfriendly here. Lauren Christie snags the board. Xavier sets up shop. Top of the key. Currently with Lopez. Lopez looks for an option in the corner. Lauren Christie's 3 is up and off the far rim and rebounded by Reagan Jackson. Weaving through the defensive press from Xavier and gets it over to Ariel Jackson. She's standing on the left wing. Drives inside. Puts a pass back to Tanea Hilton. Would have been a 3, but Ariel Jackson was called for a travel.
5th turnover of the day for the Bearcats. You mentioned how this floor seems to be just breeding turnovers. We saw it yesterday, too, in the men as well. Maybe it's a Skyline Chili Crosstown shootout thing.
Maybe. Daly Dunn and Ramaya Bird both enter for Cincinnati. The redshirt freshman and the 5th-year senior onto the floor. 7:12 to go here in the first half. Here's Canerva, right wing, top of the circle now to Christie. Christie finds a cutting offender in Lopez, but she can't finish it. Tanea Hilton now with the rock, with a burst of speed. Lays it off to Ramaya Bird, and she gets it up and in. Cincinnati takes their first lead since the first quarter.
That was beautiful. What a move by Ramaya Bird, charging in towards the basket with a great cut. Easy basket, and the Cats lead.
Well-designed play for the Bearcats. 14-12 now the score with 6.5 to play in the first half. Here's Daniela Lopez. Lopez spin move against Ramaya Bird, drives to the basket, puts it up, and it can't quite knock it down. It's going to be rebounded by Cincinnati, and down the floor they're going to go. Here's Ariel Jackson, right wing. Daly Dunn kicks it back out to Ari. Ari up to Tanea. Tanea puts up a 3-ball. It's up off the rim, no good. Trying to get that rebound from Alliance and Deba, and a foul called. And Alliance doing with some smart work there to draw the foul on Xavier.
And it's perfect. She's able to use her big frame, and you can't guard her when she's out in front of you. You got to go on top of her, and that's going to draw the foul every single time. It's perfect for the Bearcats. Generate some more offense here. Get another chance.
6'3" junior forward making it happen. Ariel Jackson from the baseline, looking, finds into Ramaya Bird, spins around, puts up a shot, and it gets the friendly roll. 16-12, Cincinnati's leading. You listen to this crowd erupt in the Cintas Center. Garcia Roge with it. Takes it back to Canerva. Canerva up top, Lopez. Lopez bounces it inside, has Borilova. Borilova bounce pass, finds a cutter, and it's up and in from Garcia Roge.
It was a great cut there by Roge, able to squeeze around the Bearcats defenders.
2-point game here in the Cintas Center. Ariel Jackson has to kick it back out to Tanea. 16-14, 5.5 to play here in the first half. A loose ball picked up by Alliance, and Diba kicks it back out. 15 seconds on the timer as Tanea Hilton has the rock. Right wing as of current. It's going to be knocked away and picked back up by Cincinnati. Tanea Hilton couldn't force the foul and we called for a travel instead.
Taylor Purvis very vocal there after that turnover by the Bearcats. Musketeer bench was getting into it as well.
Both benches have been getting into it, and a sea of red here in the Cintas Center has been loving every Bearcat basket and Xavier turnover. Here's Canerva. Lays it off for Obrilova. Lova into the corner to Purvis. Backdoor cut. Leaves it. Thought she had a man. And a foul called on a charge from Purvis. And Tanea Hilton gives it right back.
That's what you call payback. I mean, exactly right after Purvis forced the turnover and yelled over Alliance and Diva, Tanea Hilton draws the charge on her and yells right over her head. I mean, it was perfect for the Bearcats.
Lobs one to Alliance and Diva. Perfect to evade the press here from Cincinnati. Sets it up top of the key. Ramaya Berg flicks it back to Tanea Hilton. She stands top of the circle. Under 5 to play here in the second quarter. Tanea hands it over to Chloe. Chloe all the way over to Daly Dunn with some help. Down to Tanea Hilton. She rotated over to the right wing. Driving inside. Makes a move inside. Puts up a shot. Can't draw the foul, but she will after a late whistle. And after that, it is going to be 2 shots after the media timeout. Cincinnati leads by 2, 16-14, here with 4:42 remaining in the first half. We'll be right back after this on Bearcast Sports Radio. A 2-point lead for Cincinnati, 16-14 with 4:42 remaining here in the first half alongside Aiden Riggs. I'm Ethan Herzog, and Cincinnati's starting to kind of figure out their rhythm here. They're shooting 29% from the floor, but they're drawing fouls left and right, have a couple more forced turnovers, and have foul shots coming up.
You just got to find a way to generate offense if you're the Bearcats. They're having so much trouble getting the ball to fall into the hoop. However you can get those points on the board, you're going to have to take them. If it's from the line, you got to deal with that. If it's down low, even if you got to make a three, they don't have a three on the day yet. They're 0 for 4 from deep. You got to figure out ways to generate offense.
Cincinnati also standing out on defense so far, forcing missed shots left and right for the Musketeers. 1 of 6 from 3, 6 of 19 from the field. It's been a minute since Xavier has made a basket as well. As Tanea Hilton steps up to the line for the second time today. First shot up and good. She was 1 of 2 on her last trip. 6th best free throw shooter in the Big 12 behind Chloe Mann, who is the 5th best. Had a 3rd-time career high tying game last time out against Western Illinois. Set her career high against UIC with 20 as she makes her 2nd. Increase the lead up to 19-14. Excuse me, 18-14. 4:42 to go here in the half. Full court press from Cincinnati again. Really good at forcing backcourt violation. Tanea Hilton on the backside trying to force it, but can't quite get there as it's going to escape the press and cross the timeline. Here are the Musketeers. Kanerva with it, top of the circle. Chloe Mann step for step on defense. Has it over to Orbilova. Lova back. Goes to the Kanerva again. Kanerva has had a lot of ball control here for the first half as shot goes up from Orbilova. It's off the rim and no good. Rebounded by Cincinnati. Here's a spin move from Tanea Hilton. She advances up the floor. Steps back right wing. Looking for a shot. Can't quite find anything. Gets some help in Daily Dunn. She rotates back around. Kicks it back out to Chloe Mann. Left wing. Or right wing, excuse me. She's going to drive inside the paint. Stops on a dime. Kicks it back out to Tanea Hilton. 8 seconds on the timer. Drives forward. Puts up a shot. And looks like she'll draw the foul again.
It's going to be 2 more shots for Hilton. Great speed heading in towards the basket. She's got such good handles as well. We saw her taking it up the floor.
It's a foul on Garcia Roge. It's going to be her first foul of the game. Xavier now in a current scoring drought over the past 2 minutes as Tanea Hilton steps to the line once again. Since the team is 4 for 5 and Tanea makes another. Dribbles twice, spins the ball in her hand, and the ball is up in the air, and it is good. She's missed 1 on the day so far. Hilton is now 5 of 6 on the evening in free throws. 25 seconds on the timer to try an advance past the timeline. Can't quite get there. Just in the nick of time, they do instead. Gets it over to Mayo. Mayo fires one inside. It's going to be a baseline inbound after a foul called on Cincinnati. It's going to go on Daily Dunn, her first.
This is a great look at the end there, looking down at Christie. Daily Dunn was just able to get in there. She ended up fouling her, but stopped a good chance for the Musketeers.
Cincinnati's lead increased by 6. It'll be a 20-14 lead with 3:34 to go in the half. A lob goes up, tipped by Chloe Mann, but recovered by Kanerva instead. Roge is able to get past Tanea on the block, but misses the shot after all. It's going to be Tanea Hilton with the rebound, or with the ball after the rebound. Jillian Hayes gave it to her. Tanea Hilton lost the handle, was able to pick it back up, bounce pass over to Chloe Mann. Mann rotates over from right to left. She's still outside the arc, now drives inside, puts up a shot, and it's going to be nothing on the shot, and a foul called on Chloe Mann for the charge.
This is a 3-minute scoring drought, or 3 minutes without any field goals for the Bearcats, and the Musketeers haven't had a basket in the past 2:30 as well. Each team kind of stalled out offensively. The only things the Bearcats can get right now are free throws.
Which, if you're Katrina Merriweather, it's exactly what you want. She preaches the dribble drive offense, and we've seen the success that she's put out, having 6 of 7 from the field, and Xavier's only made 1 of 3 and haven't been in quite some time. Some heavy press here, and what looks like a travel called on Xavier. Reagan Jackson's loving it.
It looked as if the Bearcats were able to kind of trap them right at the line. I think they called an over and back violation instead, where you had 2 Bearcats meet them right at midcourt, took 1 step backwards and got immediately called for it.
Ariel Jackson gets it off a small screen, kicks it back out to Jillian Hayes. She drives inside, takes a step back, fires it over to Daly Dunn. Dunn over to Reagan Jackson, bounced off the head of Garcia Roge. Still with Reagan Jackson. Backdoor cut for Jillian Hayes. Puts up the shot and gets it to go. Jillian Hayes. Magician work out here for the Bearcats.
High and off the glass, Jillian Hayes. What a basket. Reverses it underneath. Gets hit and still puts it in. What a basket from Hayes.
22-14 now your score. Chance for one more. Jillian Hayes' first trip to the line today in any capacity. Cincinnati native, as aforementioned. Shot is up, no good. Couldn't get her own rebound either, and a foul called on Ariel Jackson. It was a little rough, get it going for the offensive board.
That's one of them where you almost feel like it's just unnecessary. She already had, the defensive rebound was already made, and Ariel kind of came in and just smacked her at the end.
Crosstown shootout.
Yep, exactly.
25 seconds on the timer, trying to avoid the backcourt violation. Garcia Roge able to get in off the edge. Roge fires it inside. Canerva's under the basket, and she scores the first basket for Xavier in the past 3 minutes.
We're seeing the downside of the Bearcats playing this press. Everyone gets caught up top. A lot of space down low. Musketeers capitalize.
Hayes mid-range 2, up, rings out. Tough shot. It's going to go back the way of Xavier. Here comes Garcia Roge. Outside the 3-point mark, fakes it to Canerva. She drives inside the back door. It's up and no good. Snagged by Delaney Snyder on the rebound. Under 2 to play here in the first half. Cincinnati leads 22-16 here in the Skyline Chili Crosstown shootout. Daly Dunn's 3 ball on the way. It's way wide. It's going to go out of bounds. Uncharacteristic 3 miss from Cincinnati and Daly Dunn.
That one just wasn't pretty.
No. I think she knew it too, right off the release. Abby Holtman on the floor. She's going to sub in for Daly Dunn. Ariel Jackson and Abby Holtman are going to switch places as well. Big defensive scheme here. Abby Holtman, second year with Cincinnati as well, from Florence, Kentucky. Canerva receives the pass from Xavier, trying to set up shop here offensively. Mayo. Top of the circle now to Orbilova. Orbilova still with it, still outside the arc. He's going to hand it over to Mayo, who hands it back to Christie. Christie back to Mayo, 6 seconds on the timer. Still outside the arc, trying to force that 3 ball. Haven't been successful, only made 1. Orbilova puts up a shot, it's at the buzzer. What a shot. Clutch opportunity for Orbilova, and she knocks down 3.
Almost an announcer jinx on that one, right as you said it. She knocks it in, beat the buzzer.
Ariel Jackson has a little bit of help, top of the circle with Jillian Hayes. Minute to play here in the first half. Ariel Jackson into the corner to Reagan, near side. Finds a lane, kicks it back out. Jillian Hayes, mid-range 2, off the front rim. Offensive board for Alliance and Diva, but forces 2 more shots. Yeah, I hate that was kind of the announcer's jinx talking there, but still, either way, Cincinnati still with the lead and a chance to increase it by 2 with 51.4 seconds remaining. And they should have the final shot should all things pan out.
Continuing their dribble drive offense. Alliance and Diva having it down low, getting fouled, going up. Exactly how the Bearcats wanted to go.
Cincinnati is in the middle of the pack when it comes to field goal shooting, but it's dead last in 3-point shooting. Not to say that they can't do it, they just don't do it often. Alliance and Diva's first shot is up and good. And Diva made her first free throws last time out against Western Illinois. She's 4 for 4, now 5 for 5. Second shot, perfect. 24-19 now, 51 seconds in the half remain. Canerva rotates from right to left. Guarded by Reagan Jackson. Motion's called. Orbilova went in motion. Fires it over to Lopez instead. Lopez drives, puts it up, and is good for 2. About a 0.4 second differential between shot and game clock. Cincinnati effectively has the final shot of the half. Ariel Jackson holding it. Looking for an option. As the clock dwindles down, Cincinnati leads by 3, 24-21. Ariel Jackson, ill-advised pass and turns it back over to Xavier. They have the final shot, can tie it up with a 3-ball. Sends it over to Mayo. Mayo back to the top. Canerva's 3, it's short. Pour off the release, and that's how the first half is going to end. 24-21, Cincinnati's lead as we head to halftime. Aiden Riggs will take over on the play-by-play in the second half. This has been Cincinnati women's basketball here on Bearcast Sports Radio.
Welcome back inside the Cintas Center here on the campus of Xavier University, where the 46th Crosstown shootout between the Xavier Musketeers and the Cincinnati Bearcats is set to begin the second half here shortly, with the Bearcats leading 24-21 over the Musketeers. My name is Aiden Riggs. I'm joined alongside Ethan Herzog. Ethan, eventful first half.
Very much so, and it took a second for Cincinnati to kind of find their momentum offensively. They were not shooting great from the floor, still really aren't. They've only made 8 of 28 so far, good enough for 29%, but that dribble drive offense that head coach Katrina Merriweather preaches has come to fruition, and you've seen it throughout game after game here, especially Tanea Hilton. She had 14 made last time out against Western Illinois. They have 8 of 10 made so far in this contest, and in the second quarter, if I am not mistaken, I believe Xavier, they made 4 field goals and 1 3-pointer towards the end of the first half, but Cincinnati has been having things go their way defensively so far in this contest as well. 9 turnovers for Xavier, 8 for Cincinnati. So some ball control issues on both sides of the floor, but Xavier, that's not too uncharacteristic. They have the 3rd most turnovers in the Big East so far. They have 533 coming into this contest, and statistically speaking, Xavier is last or second or third to last in a lot of statistical categories. And Cincinnati, they come into this game, and I feel like they may have had some kind of ego boost coming into this game after a 95-point drop against Western Illinois, had one of the highest that they've scored in program history. But I believe that they may have the issue of playing down to their opponent coming into this contest. Xavier coming into it today 4-5, Cincinnati is 6-2. And the big thing about this Katrina Merriweather staff is that they have the ability to change things almost immediately coming out of the second half locker room. They are very much a second half team. Not to say that they don't play teams close in the first half, but they really get things going in the second half. Coming out of halftime in the game against Western Illinois, they scored 32 points to Western Illinois' 9. So if that doesn't tell you the changes that get made, I don't know what does.
So with that, your Bearcats' leading scorer on double-double watch already is Jillian Hayes. She has 6 points and is also the leading rebounder with 7. Other stats, statistical leaders for the Bearcats do include Reagan Jackson with 2 assists. Some other stats for the Bearcats include Tanea Hilton with 5 points, Reagan Jackson with 2, Ramaya Bird with 4 points of her own. Delaney Snyder, of course, had her big 3-point play early in the second quarter. And then looking at the Musketeers, your leading scorer is number 7, Daniela Lopez with 9. Your leading rebounder is Lauren Christie with 5. And your leading assist is Canerva with 2. So Ethan, looking forward, what do you think the Bearcats have to do in the second half to really get things going?
It's going to be a lot more how can they affect the paint on both ends of the floor. It's going to be grabbing rebounds, and it's going to be driving towards the basket. Cincinnati currently out-rebounding Xavier by 4, 20-16. They only have 1 more defensive, but have 6 offensive rebounds. It's going to be capitalizing on the offensive glass specifically for this Bearcats team. And we've seen it time and time again that this Bearcat squad can go and be aggressive on the offensive boards. They were in the top 15 nationally last season, and so far this season they have the 22nd best solo offensive rebounder per game in Jillian Hayes with 4.2 offensive boards per game, and they're 4th in the Big 12 with 13.6 offensive boards per game so far. So seeing the Bearcats get more aggressive on the offensive boards is going to be a big factor, and just creating opportunities for points, whether that be outside the arc. We've seen Reagan Jackson, Daly Dunn, Chloe Mann make those important 3 balls, Abby Holtman from time to time. But it's going to come down to who can drive in the most and who can get the most free throws. And we've seen Tanea Hilton do it. She does it as that starting guard. She currently, on the day, is 5 for 6. She had 14 made last time out. We'll see how that fares coming up here in the second half.
We did mention it a couple times. You want to watch out for foul trouble potentials from the Bearcats. 8 personal fouls were called against them. 2 fouls on Tanea Hilton and 2 on Jillian Hayes, who are leading players for the Cats in general have to be careful defensively. Play getting set to resume here shortly. Musketeers will start out with the ball.
We are waiting for TV to clear. Seems to be an issue with the camera and the tripod. The camera looks like it's about to fall off the tripod.
I said the ref almost came over and moved the tripod herself there at first.
You are in the way. Can we please get this game underway?
Oreo inbounds the ball, and we are underway here in the second half of the 46th Crosstown shootout between the Xavier Musketeers and the Cincinnati Bearcats. Moving inside, Lauren Christie, quick pass and an easy basket for Irene Oreo.
It's very pretty play inside from Oreo, just the right place, right time cut.
Tanea Hilton takes up the floor for the Cats. Fouled on the way in. Quick foul is going to be called against the Musketeers.
She just got tripped up. I'm not sure if it was really intentional on that foul. I think it was just happenstance that the leg got extended when Tanea went to drive, and it'll force the foul either way, and good opportunity for Cincinnati on the basket.
Second foul on Mary Knaver. Bearcats inbound the ball. Allianz and Diva has it up top for the Cats. Hands it off to Tanea Hilton. Step back jumper is up from mid-range. Rattles around. It's no good. Ariel Jackson fought for the rebound, but it goes out of bounds.
Ariel Jackson's been all over the floor today for Cincinnati, and in both good and bad ways. She's had a couple of silly fouls, but she's also had a couple of good rebounds and assisted rebounds so far today. She has to keep that up.
Tanea Hilton 0 for 3 from the field, still looking for her first basket. Up the floor for the Musketeers. Oreo had it. Hands off Purvis. Looking down low, guarded by Hilton. Back up top, makes its way back to Oreo. Up top, Christie. Into the corner, Oreo. Right back to Christie. A little ball screen. Oreo fakes a three. Now she's going to put it up. That one's no good. Rattles around. Jillian Hayes grabs the rebound. Bearcats looking for an answer. Tanea Hilton. She's met at midcourt. Battles her way inside. Goes along the baseline. Foul is up. Charge is going to be called against her. Offensive foul goes against Tanea Hilton. That's her third.
And that's the third foul on Tanea Hilton. Some serious foul trouble. And luckily for the Bearcats, it's the only player in foul trouble, and Jillian Hayes has two, so she's kind of knocking on that door. But you're going to have to watch out for those two star-studded players.
Bearcats apply a light press. Musketeers break it fairly easily. Oreo on the right side of the floor. Guarded by Ariel Jackson. Back up top, Canerva. Backing down her defender. Kicks it back outside. The three is up. No good off the back iron. Allianz Diva with the rebound. Here come the Bearcats. Left side of the floor, Tanea Hilton. Point guards this offense. Drives inside the arc. Picks up her dribble. Puts up a little floater. That's no good. Rebound to offensive board, Jillian Hayes. Back up. That's no good, but she was fouled. She'll go to the line for two.
This time switching the foul offense to defense here, and it's going to be some important shots for Jillian Hayes, and it's just been back and forth, and it's just physical. We saw this a lot yesterday with the men's side. Just very physical between these two. It's going to be low scoring. The last game in this arena was low scoring. It was a 48-35 final, and we could see something very similar to that today.
Jillian Hayes steps up to the line. Her second and third attempts on the day. She's 0 for 1 so far. First shot is up. That one's good. Cats lead 25-23. 8:22 remains in the third quarter. Hayes gathers the ball, ready for her second. 7 points on the day. Now with 9 rebounds. Second shot is up, and that is good. Cats lead by 3. Over a minute and a half in. Press being applied by the Bearcats. Musketeers just get it over inside. Carrying to the floor for them was Carneva. Up top, Oreo. Hands it off to Christie. Here's Christie, guarded by Ndiva. Working her way into that corner. Back up top, Oreo. Inside the paint. Pulls up the little jumper. That's no good off the backboard. Rebounded offensive board by the Musketeers. Up top, Purvis thought about it. Instead, hands it off to Christie. Christie trying to work inside on Ndiva. Picks up her dribble. Puts it up. She was fouled on the way up. She'll go to the line for 2.
And that, it was tight defense from Allianz and Diva, just a little, but then got a little bit too aggressive down low as well, and some good screens as well from Xavier. It was almost a really pretty three that was made, just a little wide. And Xavier, they've only made 2 threes on the day. They've shot 11, and if anything is going to get to Xavier, it's going to be the shooting.
Christie makes her first shot, now with 3 points on the day. That makes it 26-24 ball game. 7:47 remains in the third quarter. Christie gathers the ball, ready for her second. Second shot is up. That one's no good. Alliance and Diva gathers the rebound.
Strong rebound from Alliance.
Ariel Jackson took it up the floor for the Cats. Hands it off to Naya Hilton. Here's Hilton. Motions her offense around. Ariel Jackson now on the left side, driving inside along the baseline. Little Euro step, that's good. What a move, Ariel Jackson.
And that's what she's good for. She's able to make those plays. She may not show it on the stat sheet, but she can make shots that are extremely difficult.
Kanerva has it in the corner for the Musketeers. Christie now, handoff right back to her.
Oh.
Foul is going to be called against. That's going against Hilton again. That's her fourth foul.
That ill-advised from Tanea Hilton, and I think she knows that Katrina Merriweather knows that as she meets Tanea out on the bench, she just kind of made a slap, but got a little bit too much arm in that smack trying to get the ball out. It's going to bring in Chloe Mann.
Leading point guard now out of the game for the foreseeable future for the Bearcats. In the corner, wide open was Kanerva. She easily makes that, and we got a one-point ball game.
That's just a misassignment from Ariel Jackson. She got caught lacking there on the corner three, and it's going to result in a big penalty there.
Chloe Mann, right side of the floor. Dribbles to the right, crosses over on Kanerva. Working to the right, Chloe Mann now manning this offense. Inside the arc, picks up her dribble at the free throw line, tries to go down low. Jillian Hayes stolen away by the Musketeers.
It's just another ill-advised pass.
Purvis, wide open for three in front of the bench. That one missed badly, goes out of bounds. It's going to be Bearcat basketball.
That three on the other end, I don't know what. We've seen plenty of these threes that have missed way wide from Xavier. And I don't know if it's just that it comes off the hand funny or if they're not getting set, but these threes are really what's going to hurt them. They're 3 for 13.
Ariel Jackson working inside. Picks up her dribble along the baseline. Up top, Jillian Hayes now has it. Here's Hayes looking down low in Diva. Gathers that ball. She works back outside, though. Works it around. Reagan Jackson, the three is up, but an offensive foul is going to be called against Chloe Mann.
That, I feel like that's just a freshman mistake for Chloe Mann. We've seen a couple of those here in the past couple of minutes. Made a really ill-advised pass into heavy traffic, and this time drawing the offensive foul. It's going to be it's tough sledding here for both these teams.
Xavier holds the basketball. Bearcats lead 28-27 with 6:16 remaining in the third quarter. Motioning her offense around. Kanerva inside the arc. Borilovo. Man, that's a name I've been struggling with it in my head the whole time.
Borilovo, she tried to get a pass inside, but it met the foot of Jillian Hayes, so it's going to be staying with Xavier. Fresh shot clock off the foul. Also, if you were wondering, Sam Hubbard just scored a touchdown for Cincinnati to tie things up at 14 against the Titans.
Foul is going to be called against the Musketeers. It's going to go in favor of the Bearcats. So the Bearcats will gather the ball on the inbound.
Lauren Christie, the culprit, third team foul.
Chloe Mann now on the left side of the floor. It's across the timeline. Dribbles on that X logo at midcourt. Working away to her right. Goes behind the back. Clearing some space. Dribbles it around. Errant pass was almost stolen away by the Musketeers. Ariel Jackson able to gather it though. 10 on the shot clock. Jillian Hayes. Right on the free throw line. Back outside Jackson. Jackson, quick move on her defender. Back outside in Diva. She's going to have to throw that one up for three. That's no good. Rebounded by the Musketeers.
It hit the rim, but nobody there for the offensive board.
Oreo has it. Up top, Kanerva. Kanerva down low. Christie backing down in Diva. Works around the block. No good. Rebounded by Jillian Hayes. She's got 10 now. Chloe Mann working with speed up the right side. Inside the arc she goes. Going to kick it back out. Let her offense develop. Chloe Mann works with her right, picks up her dribble on the baseline, puts up the shot, that's no good. Offensive board, Jillian Hayes puts it back up and in.
And that is a double-double for Jillian Hayes, 11 rebounds and 10 points on the day.
Bearcats lead 30-27, under 5 remains in the third quarter. Purvis has it. Handoff, Kanerva, Oreo. Purvis up top. Borilova, right side. Thought about going inside, said gets it to Christie up top. Back up, Kanerva, Christie, handoff right back to her. Kanerva, right side. Handoff to Oreo.
Travel called there on the play by Oreo, and it's going to bring us to a timeout.
Bearcats lead 30-27, 4:31 remains in the third quarter. We'll take a quick break here on Bearcat Sports Radio. Welcome back to the Cintas Center for the 46th Crosstown Shootout between the Xavier Musketeers and the Cincinnati Bearcats. The Bearcats leading this one 30-27 with 4:31 remaining in the third quarter. Ethan, Tanea Hilton for the Bearcats, your point guard, now has 4 fouls. Chloe Mann really stepped up.
And it's going to be tough. And coming into this game specifically for Chloe Mann is tough. This is a rivalry that, but these two schools, I mean, they hate each other. It's just how this has gone for the past 46 years in the women's side, 92 years for the men, and so on and so forth. But Chloe Mann has big shoes to fill for guard Tanea Hilton, who has 4 fouls, and you probably won't see her till the fourth quarter.
Musketeers applying a light press. The Bearcats break it and get across midcourt. Chloe Mann, as mentioned, mans this offense, motions them around. Somewhat of a zone now being played by the Musketeers. Reagan Jackson inside. Jillian Hayes backing down her defender, puts it up off the glass. It's no good. Rebounded by Oreo, the Musketeers.
Couldn't quite draw the foul on that one.
Right side of the floor. Canerva has it. Motions her offense as well. Now guarded by Mann. Canerva with her left hand. Inside the arc she went, and now back outside. Swings it around. Up top. Borilova. Borilova to the left. Hands it off to Purvis. Purvis right inside the paint. Went hard down on the ground. It was Reagan Jackson. She puts it up and in.
That was an acting job. Couldn't quite get the foul.
30-29, the Bearcats lead. 3:30 remains in the third quarter. Oriel Jackson. Back to Chloe Mann. Looks over to Katrina Merriweather. Now motions her offense around. Dribbles with her left hand. Moving to her left. Tries to send it across the court to Reagan Jackson. Now inside Jillian Hayes. Hayes, spin move, back outside. Reagan Jackson, deep 3 is up. That's no good. Battle for a rebound. Foul is going to be called against Jillian Hayes. That's going to be her third.
And that's tough spot for Jillian Hayes coming into this one. 4th foul on the day. And I feel like this is what you expect if you're going to be in the Crosstown Shootout. It's going to be fouls aplenty for both teams, and you have Purvis with 3 fouls as well, and multiple with 2. Mayo, Christie, and Canerva all with 2. The timeout called on the floor, and looks like it'll be shots for Xavier. Cincinnati giving them the bonus situation now on the floor, and it's tough. But this is just how the nature of the Crosstown Shootout. But Cincinnati, they have plenty of players that have none or 1 foul so far in this contest, and that's kind of what's holding them to it.
A little bit of discussion there from the refs as well.
So we're going to be sent to immediate timeouts, that floater break.
To determine the shooter. So it will be a timeout on the floor. We'll take a quick break as well. 3:10 remains in the third quarter. The Bearcats lead this one 30-29 over the Xavier Musketeers. You're listening to Bearcast Sports Radio. 3:10 remains here in the third quarter between the Xavier Musketeers and the Cincinnati Bearcats in the 46th Crosstown Shootout between the two schools, separated by 3 miles. A good 10-minute drive that we had to do. I had to do twice today. Back and forth a couple times.
Today, unfortunately.
Had a little bit of an equipment issue, but no better game for that to happen to on the road than this one.
Undoubtedly, and out of the break, we have decided that the shooter for Xavier is number 31, Aruni Oreo, and the foul is actually on Brianna Byer, so it's her first foul. Jillian Hayes still has 2.
First shot is up from Oreo, and that is good. We got a tie game at 30-all.
And I have this feeling in my gut this is going to be a low-scoring affair, just like it was the last time this game was at Cintas.
Oreo's second shot is up, and that gives the Musketeers the lead, 31-30, with 3:10 left in the third quarter. Musketeers applying that soft press again, meeting the Bearcats around half court. Ariel Jackson gets it across. Chloe Mann now has it. Dribbles to the right, working her way to the right. Hands it off Ariel Jackson. Thought about the 3 and said pass it right back to Chloe Mann. Mann, pass to Jackson. Swatted out of bounds by Purvis of the Musketeers. Will be throw-in for the Bearcats.
Purvis came flying in on that one. I almost thought she got called for the foul. Would have been her 4th. But she, if anyone's going to get fouled out, it's either going to be her or Tanea Hilton for first off.
Chloe Mann. That's it for the Cats. 6 on the shot clock. Inside the arc. Step back 3 is up. High one. That's no good off the back glass. Rebounded by the Musketeers.
Felt like almost desperation. You had a couple more seconds to maybe get your feet set more on that shot.
Canarva has it. Canarva dribbles with her left. Back outside. Borilova. Inside. Backing down her defender was Daniela Lopez. Swatted away by Ariel Jackson, working with speed. Chloe Mann now goes up off the glass and it's good, and the Cats lead once again, 32-31.
I think that's exactly what you need. If you're 1 Cincinnati and 2 Chloe Mann, just get that confidence up.
Canerva looking for an answer. Hands it off. Danielle Lopez had it. Now Purvis. Around the world they go to Oreo. Looking down low. Inside, the 3 is up, and that's good.
Wow.
Long 2 instead. Borilova.
Borilova, just the confidence over the defender to knock down that 3.
Musketeers lead 33-32. Jillian Hayes inside has it. Steps back just inside the arc. Now dribbles in on her defender. Inside the paint, she has a little fadeaway jumper. That's no good. Rebounded offensively by Brianna Byers. Wasn't fouled on the way up. She wanted the call. Instead, the Musketeers come away with it. Here come the Musketeers. Canerva kicks it outside. Daniela Lopez with a 3. Got it. Daniela Lopez puts the Musketeers up 36-32. Timeout, Bearcats.
That's the 4th and 5th three-point buckets made by Xavier. And Katrina Merriweather not happy as she brings her team to the huddle to talk things over defensively.
That felt like the 3 that swings momentum completely in your favor.
It definitely does. And that is exactly the thing that Cincinnati wants to avoid first off, but second off, has trouble avoiding. They have one of the worst three-point defenses in the Big 12 and in the country looking at this, but usually it's paired with big drives inside the paint and lots of free throws, and they haven't really had that today. Cincinnati is 10-12 from the stripe, but have also missed 11 field goals so far down low after attempting 40 shots today. So something has to give for Cincinnati if you're Katrina Merriweather, and it's going to be very dependent on who can step up. Tanea Hilton is out so far for the foreseeable future with 4 fouls, and obviously have gone to Chloe Mann. Mann has made a singular basket, but she's 1 for 6. You're going to have to find somebody who might be able to get in and make something happen, whether it's Ariel or Reagan Jackson or anybody else on the team.
I mentioned the Bearcats are 0 for 8 from deep compared to the Musketeers being 4 for 14. So we saw that big 3 just made by Lopez. I mean, you mentioned it throughout the whole game, how the Bearcats just aren't a strong team when it comes to three-pointers. And you mentioned it on both sides of the floor, really. Both offensively and defensively have trouble guarding them. Bearcats inbound the ball. Minute 20 remains in the third quarter. They trail 36-32 behind the Xavier Musketeers. Ariel Jackson, right side of the floor. Here's Chloe Mann now. Dribbles it right on that X logo. A lot of room up top she has. Lets her offense develop a little bit. A zone being played by the Musketeers. 3 is up from Reagan Jackson. That's no good. Foul is going to go against the Musketeers. A little push to Brianna Byers was called. Goes against Daniela Lopez. Only the 4th foul of the quarter for the Musketeers, meaning the Bearcats will inbound the ball. Ariel Jackson gets it in quickly to Jillian Hayes. She tried to battle through. She's going to be called for a travel instead. Rough turn of events for the Bearcats.
And that, I mean, I hate to say it, I don't know about that one. She got hip checked out of bounds, and calling that travel just seems like a disservice.
Cross midcourt, goes Kanarva. Kanarva picks up her dribble. Borilova has it. Guarded by Hayes, down low. Kanarva picks up her dribble. A little fadeaway shot is up, and it's good. Musketeers lead by 6. Bearcats having trouble finding anything offensively, 1 for their last 7. Here's Jillian Hayes, back outside Reagan Jackson. She's met by 2, back down low, Jillian Hayes. Battles her defender, puts it up, no good off the glass, offensive board, gathered by her, puts it up and in, and 1. Jillian Hayes trying to find the spark.
And that is going to at least find some kind of spark. I mean, an and 1 is the perfect way to do it. It's just how you respond after the fact to keep this momentum going.
Jillian Hayes with 12 points on the day, looking for her 13th. She's 2 for 3 from the line already. The 12 points matches her 12 rebounds. Hayes, of course, averaging almost a double-double so far this season. Shot is up, that's good. Gets the Cats within 2. Within 3, rather. 38-35. Musketeers lead. 19 seconds remains in the 3rd quarter. Tight defense by the Bearcats. Stolen away. Ariel Jackson goes to the basket. No good. A foul is going to be called against the Musketeers. Jackson will go to the line for 2.
And that is what you want to see if you're Cincinnati. And that's something that they're very, very capable of, is being crafty, being gritty, and being able to force turnovers deep in their own backcourt.
Foul went against Lopez. That's her 3rd foul of the game. She has 3 along with Taylor Purvis, who also has 3. Jackson's first shot is up. That's good.
Ariel Jackson, she is the daughter of Kim Jackson, who went 4th overall in the inaugural 1997 WNBA draft, and she is trying to assert herself as in the Bearcat history.
Jackson's 2nd shot is up, and that's good as well. Musketeers lead 38-37. Quick timeout for substitutions. Julia Garcia-Roge comes in for the Musketeers. Press still being applied by the Bearcats as it's inbounded. Oreo has it. Here's Purvis trying to break through. She gets across midcourt, guarded closely by Reagan Jackson. Purvis dribbles to her left, one-handed pass to Kanarva. Battles inside of Jillian Hayes. Hayes might have got a hand on that one. That's no good to end the quarter. At the end of 3, the Xavier Musketeers lead 38-37 over the Cincinnati Bearcats. We'll be back shortly with the start of the 4th quarter here on Bearcast Sports Radio.
Start of the fourth quarter here in the 46 Crosstown shootout between the Xavier Musketeers and the Cincinnati Bearcats. The Musketeers lead this one 38-37. The Bearcats facing some troubles, foul trouble, and also some offensive struggle so far in this game.
Cincinnati, they're shooting 28% from the field. It's their worst performance so far through 3 quarters in a game this season, and they have made none of their 3-point field goals, which also their worst so far this season. They've at least made one throughout all of their contests this season, but the free throws, that's what's keeping them in this game, and that's what's kept them in games throughout this season. They're 13 of 15, 87% so far in this contest. Jillian Hayes had a couple of and ones, and Ariel Jackson almost had a drawn foul as well, and that's what's going to keep the spark alive for Cincinnati. So they're going to start with the ball here on offense with a chance to take an early lead here in the fourth quarter.
Ariel Jackson sets at midcourt, ready to inbound the ball. She gets it in to Tanea Hilton. Hilton playing with 4 fouls. Hasn't seen the floor since early in the third quarter. She's going to man this offense. Dribbles to the right up top, to the top of the key. Looks inside. Ariel Jackson now has it. Right at that free throw line, she backs her way outside of the arc. One-handed pass to Hilton. Hilton dribbles to her left, takes a screen from Hayes, works inside the paint. Quick pass, Byers. Outside, Reagan Jackson for 3 from the corner. That's no good. Foul, though, will be called on Oborilova.
So that's 3 shots for Reagan Jackson. That's a big-time mistake for Oborilova and the Musketeers, especially early in this fourth quarter. You want to set a tone, but that's the opposite of the tone you want to set.
So Reagan Jackson will go to the line for 3 shots. She's shooting 50% from the line on the year. She dribbles with the ball, puts up the first shot. It's good. We are tied at 38.
Jackson, she's only taken 7 shots from the stripe. She's 5 of 7 on the year. Hasn't seen it much.
Second shot is up, and that's good as well.
But when she does, she's clutch.
Bearcats now lead 39-38. Jackson works quick on that one. That shot's up, and that's no good. Cats will lead by 1 with 9:30 remaining in the fourth. Here come the Musketeers. Canerva takes it up. Borilova now has it, hands it off to Purvis. Offensive foul. It's going to go against Borilova. 2 quick fouls for her in this fourth quarter.
And that will be her 3rd, so she in a little bit of foul trouble. She'll come out, and Lauren Christie is going to get subbed back in. Someone we haven't seen too much of. She has 22 minutes on the floor. I feel like we haven't really said her name much.
Jackson inbounds it to Hilton. Hilton's going to take up the floor slowly for the Cats. Now gets across midcourt. A little spin move on that X logo. Tight defense being played by Garcia Roach. Ariel Jackson, the little floater is up. That's no good, but rebounded by Jillian Hayes. Puts it up and in off the glass.
Didn't get the foul like she wanted, but still gets 2, so you win some, you lose some.
Here come the Musketeers looking for an answer. They now trail by 3. Garcia Roach hands off to Purvis. Up top, Canerva. Oreo had it. Down low, Purvis again. Kicks it back outside. Garcia Roach going to take the 3 from the corner. That's good. Tie ball game.
They have been on fire from 3 as of recent. They've made about 4 in the past, 7 minutes. And it's really been what's keeping them in this game.
Reagan Jackson, her 3 from the wing is up. That's no good. Offensive board by Jillian Hayes. Backs down her defender. She's fouled. She'll go to the line for 2.
And Cincinnati, they really want to match 3 for 3, but they just cannot get them online today. I don't know what it is about this arena that has shook up the 3-point shooting of Cincinnati, but you put someone under the basket like Cincinnati has been, snagging the offensive boards. They have 12 today. It's not a bad game plan.
Jillian Hayes heads to the line for her 5th and 6th free throws of the day. She's 3 for 4 already. Hayes takes the first shot. That one's up. Rattles just out of it. That's no good. We're tied at 41 apiece with 8:27 remaining in the fourth quarter. Hayes gathers the ball, ready for her second shot. Shot is up. That one's good. Cats lead 42-41. Musketeers inbound the ball. They're met immediately by the Bearcats, applying a press. Swatted away by Ariel Jackson. Here come the Bearcats. Tanea Hilton inside the arc. Back outside, Jillian Hayes. They'll settle down and let their offense develop. Hilton dribbles to the right hand. One-handed pass over to Jackson. Here's Ariel Jackson. Pull-up jumper, the mid-range floater is no good. Battle for a rebound, Musketeers come down with it. Here come the Muskies up the floor. Outside Purvis. Picks up her dribble in the corner. Canerva has it. Canerva hands it off to Garcia Roche. Back to Canerva. Hilton guarding her closely. Canerva with the handles. Step back jumper is up. That one's good. That was pretty. The Musketeers lead.
My goodness, it's going to be back and forth for the next 7.5 minutes.
Ariel Jackson up the floor for the Bearcats. She was met by Musketeers quickly at midcourt. Cross-court pass from Tanae Hilton was kept in bounds by Reagan Jackson. Works his way all the way back around to Brianna Byers on the baseline. Puts it up. That's no good. Easy rebound for the Musketeers. Here come the Musketeers with a little bit of speed. Canerva has it. Slows down, looks at her coach. Dribbles with the right hand on the left side of the floor. Spin move on Hilton. Takes a screen from Christie. Step back three, thought about it instead. Passes back to Garcia Roche, working her way inside. Puts it up and in off the glass. What a basket by Garcia Roche.
And Cincinnati has to find some kind of answer defensively. They have to lock it down.
Hilton has it for the Bearcats, 20 seconds on the shot clock. They trail by 3, 45-42. Inside, Brianna Byers backing down her defender. Puts it up and in off the glass and good.
Good spin around shot from Brianna Byers. Just keep him in this game.
Musketeers with it. Garcia Roche carries it up the floor. She's met by Ariel Jackson at midcourt. Dribbles her left hand, working her way towards the baseline. Back up top, she sends it to Canerva. 6:25 remains in the fourth quarter. Canerva puts it in, up off the glass, that's no good. Here comes Tanea Hilton though. Tanea Hilton, a little bit of speed, works her way inside the paint, puts it up the glass and good. Tanea Hilton gives the Cats a 46-45 lead.
A good drive there from Tanea Hilton, and she's just as crafty as the rest of them. She's able to create these shots.
Canerva up top, trying to find the answer and give her team the lead once again. Canerva with her left hand. Back outside Oreo. Christie with it in the paint, backing down Jillian Hayes. She's gonna be called for steps, as that'll go in favor of the Bearcats.
Big time, absolutely big time. If you're Cincinnati, forcing that foul is huge, especially late in this quarter. 5:51 to go, 1-point lead. Any possession that you get is crucial moving forward.
Couple substitutions coming on for the Bearcats. Ramaya Bird will enter the game, replacing Brianna Byers.
If you're wondering about a scoring update for the Cincinnati Bengals, 24-14 against the Tennessee Titans. Cade York just made a field goal. 2 seconds left in the half.
5:47 remains here from Centos Center, with the Bearcats leading 46-45. In the 46th meeting of the Crosstown Shootout. Chloe Mann mans this offense for the Bearcats. Dribbles her right hand just off that X logo at midcourt. Outside, Reagan Jackson has it. 10 on the shot clock now. Jillian Hayes working along the baseline. Puts it up off the glass. She was fouled on the way up, so go to the line for 2 more.
And that is exactly what we want to see for Cincinnati. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't take another three-pointer unless they absolutely have to in this contest. But going to the line is what's going to keep them alive in this game. They have had 20 shots so far. They're about to have 2 more.
16 points already on the day for Jillian Hayes to go alongside 15 rebounds. She stands at the line, ready for her 7th free throw of the day. That one's good. Cats lead 47-45. Jillian Hayes inching her way towards a career high in rebounds. Her career high is 17. Second shot is up and good, and the Cats lead 48-45. 5:25 remains in the fourth quarter. Press being applied by the Bearcats. Musketeers having trouble breaking through. It's swatted away. Chloe Mann comes away with it. Bearcats with a quick steal. Chloe Mann works up the floor. Tanea Hilton will let her offense develop.
Gonna try and kill off some time here with these possessions.
Ramaya Bird has it in the corner. Looking down low to Jillian Hayes. Gets it to her, right back to Bird it goes. Up top, here's Hilton. Dribbles to her right, now with her left. Backing outside, Jillian Hayes. Kicks it back out to Hilton. The 3 is up, that's no good. Musketeers come down with the rebound. Here come the Musketeers up the center of the court. Canerva has it, kicks it outside to Purvis. Bearcats wanted a travel called on that one.
Bearcat faithful traveled well, and they wanted one as well.
Here's Purvis, dribbling with her right hand at the top of the key. Inside Lopez, working her way into the paint she goes, spin move inside. Guarded by Bird, she was fouled by Bird, and she'll go to the line for 2.
that I saw that coming from a mile away. Ramaya Bird just kind of lost her footing and bumped into the shooter. Just unfortunate timing of the movement, and it'll force a foul.
So with that, we have reached the under 5 media timeout. 4:32 remains in the fourth quarter. The Bearcats leading this one 48-45 over the Xavier Musketeers. You're listening to Bearcast Sports Radio. Crunch time here from the Cintas Center, where the Bearcats lead 48-45 over the Xavier Musketeers with 4:32 remaining in the fourth quarter. My name is Aiden Riggs, joined alongside Ethan Herzog. Ethan, shooting woes today for the Bearcats.
I mean, by all sites, if you're looking at this stat sheet, Cincinnati should not be winning this game. They have shot 29% from the field, have made no threes on the day, but they're winning by 48-45. It's all because of the free throws that they've taken. And again, I've said it multiple times throughout this contest, is that the dribble drive offense works, especially in Katrina Merriweather's offensive set. And it's because they've made 18 of their 22 foul shots, and Xavier's only been 4 times to the line. They have made 4 of their 7. And if anything's going to keep them in this contest, it's going to be those foul shots. And so far, it's exactly what's been happening.
Musketeers are going to start this out at the line. Daniela Lopez will have 2 shots coming off the foul from Ramaya Bird. Bearcats on a 6-0 scoring run in the last 2 minutes. 2.5-minute scoring drought for the Musketeers. That ends on that free throw. First one is up and good. 48-46, the Bearcats lead. Musketeers trying to stay in it. Second shot on the way from Lopez. Gathers the ball, puts it up. That one's no good off the back iron, rebounded by Hilton. Here come the Bearcats with 4:30 remaining. Chloe Mann has it just off the Cintas Center logo. Into the corner it goes to Reagan Jackson. Kicking it back around to Chloe Mann. Denia Hilton has it now, dribbling with her left, motioning her offense around with her right. Tries to send Reagan Jackson along the baseline as Hilton now gets it to her in the corner. Fake move to her right, cuts inside to her left. 3 is up from Chloe Mann in the corner. That's no good off the back iron. Jillian Hayes with the offensive board. Up and off the glass, no good, but she was fouled. She'll to the line for 2 more.
Couple more threes, but like I mentioned before, they placed Jillian Hayes under the basket for that offensive rebound. And I mean, I feel like that's basics here for basketball, but they do it, and Jillian Hayes is such an aggressive rebounder that she's able to grab that rebound. She's 1 away from tying her career high as well.
16 rebounds on the day. She has 16 of the 27 total rebounds for the Bearcats. Her shot is up, and that's no good. Bounces off the back iron, keeps the score at 48-46.
And a few more key things here for Cincinnati that are keeping them in this game are the offensive rebounds. They have 13 to Xavier's 4, and the bench point, and the bench as well as the second free throw is up and no good. there's been a lot of fresh legs for Cincinnati.
Musketeers have a chance to tie or take the lead here with 3:50 remaining. Dribbling with her left is Canerva. Offensive foul is going to go against Oreo. The Bearcats will have possession.
Canerva now has 4 fouls on the day. There are 4 of the 5 players on the floor for Xavier in foul trouble with either 3 or 4 fouls. And this is going to be tough sledding here for the Musketeers.
Chloe Mann takes up the floor for the Cats. 3:45 remains. Cats lead by 2. Dribbling with her right hand. Working her way on the right side. Inside the arc she goes. Kicks it back outside. Abby Holtman for 3. Got it. The first 3 of the day for the Bearcats, and it's a big one.
And that's the perfect time. And who else to do it but Abby Holtman? She's been clutching these big situations all season.
51-46, the Bearcats lead. Timeout called by the Musketeers.
Billy Chambers wants the timeout. She wants to disrupt the momentum. And Abby Holtman, oh my goodness, what a shot. And she's that sneaky one to look at when it comes to those sneaky 3-pointers and things of that nature. And I talked to Katrina Merriweather in the preseason. I went to a couple of practices, saw a couple of scrimmages with these players, and I asked her, who was that player that kind of surprised you from last season coming into this season? She said Abby Holtman. She has been working on her craft so often and has improved so much coming into this season that she's seeing so much more minutes, and she's contributing a lot more in those minutes as opposed to last season.
It was changed to a 2, in fact, so the Bearcats lead 50-46 with 3:21 remaining in the fourth quarter. Jillian Hayes, 18 points and 16 rebounds. What a day for Hayes.
I mean, are you surprised is my question. And I'm sure Katrina Merriweather could gush about Jillian Hayes and what she's contributed to this team, especially today. Jillian Hayes, career high is 30 points. She set that this season against Delaware State. She probably won't make it to that 30-point mark, but she's having a career day nonetheless. 16 rebounds, 1 away from a career high in rebounds. Has her 29th double-double of her career, and is just asserting her dominance once again. I mean, this is a future WNBA player, or at least professional player in any regard coming up.
Lopez inbounded it to Canerva. Canerva hands it back to Lopez right inside the arc. Hand off again to Canerva. She's guarded by Chloe Mann. Kicks it outside. Lopez thought about the 3. Instead, she's going to be called for a travel. The defense from Holtman made her take an extra step in Bearcat basketball.
And Xavier just seems like they're crumbling in some sort of fashion, at least offensively. Defensively, they still had a couple of good stops, but they're really going to have the gears turning here, get the gears turning here on offense if they're going to want to come back.
Chloe Mann has it just offside of midcourt. Hands it off Abby Holtman. 15 seconds remain inside the paint. Goes Reagan Jackson. What a shot from Jackson, and the Cats lead by 6.
And again, the crowd here is insane for Cincinnati support.
52-46, the Bearcats lead with 2:36 remaining in the fourth quarter. Dribbling with her right hand is Canerva. Inside the arc, takes it back outside. Garcia Roche. She battles with Tanea Hilton. Goes around her, puts it up off the glass, and good. It's a 4-point game.
That's a good late shot to make as well. And it's just finding that open lane.
Jillian Hayes, long pass. Reagan Jackson, her 3 from the corner is up. That's no good. Tanea Hilton comes down with the rebound. A foul is going to be called, believe, against Tanea Hilton.
It's going to be a foul on Tanea Hilton, and that's going to foul her out for the remainder of this game. But I will say that Tanea Hilton, staying in this game for as long as she has, she played 8 minutes without a single foul. Impressive stuff from the senior coming in, knowing she has 4 fouls. Katrina Merriweather is not pleased with the call on the floor.
Working it up the floor is Purvis. Musketeers get it across midcourt. 2 minutes remain. Bearcats lead by 4. Lopez has it. Back up top, Purvis. Hands it off. Canerva motions her offense around. Hands it off right back to Purvis. Dribbles to the right, guarded by Reagan Jackson. Thought about the screen from Christie. It was missed. Purvis picks up her dribble, 5 on the shot clock. Canerva has it. Timeout called by the Musketeers. 3 seconds on the shot clock. 1:45 remains in the game. Timeout taken Going to need a quick shot.
It's an interesting timeout if you're Xavier. With 3 seconds on the timer, Cincinnati has time to organize a defensive plan and try and disrupt any shot they may take in the next 3 seconds. 3 seconds isn't a lot of time. Very interesting decision on the timeout from head coach Billy Chambers and the Xavier Musketeers.
So it's a quick 30-second timeout. Both teams are going to take the floor again. It'll be inbounded on the far sideline, even with where the Cintas Center logo would be on that side. Caernarva's going to inbound it. She's guarded by Jillian Hayes. Hayes using her large wingspan, trying to get a hand on it. Quickly it got into Mayo. Back to Caernarva. 3 is up from Garcia Roge. That's no good. Rebounded by the Bearcats. Minute 30 remains. The Cats lead by 4. Chloe Mann works it up with her left hand. Gets across midcourt. Lets her offense develop and drains a little bit of clock. Looks over to Katrina Merriweather. Now starts to work around. Inside the arc she goes. Inside the paint. Chloe Mann. One-man show for Chloe Mann. Takes it herself. Cats lead by 6.
And that's the way you want to step up after you're losing your starting point guard. Being able to navigate the lane like that, big future for Chloe Mann.
Musketeers need a basket. Minute 10 remains. Caernarva on the far side. Caernarva has it in her left hand. Step back 3 is up. That one's no good off the back iron. Bounces its way all the way out to Lopez, though, for the offensive board. Under a minute remains. They trail by 6. Garcia Roge up top. Working on Ariel Jackson. Behind the back she goes. Back outside the arc. Christie goes around Hayes, trying to drive into the basket. That's no good off the backboard.
That's a shot you have to make. That's wide open from Lauren Christie.
Bearcats get the rebound. 10-second differential on the game and shot clock. A foul is going to be called against the Musketeers. Garcia Roge commits that one.
Wow. That shot that was missed from Lauren Christie, you have to make that. You had a wide open look in the lane. That could be the game for Xavier, especially with foul shots as Cincinnati's in the bonus.
Chloe Mann will go to the line for the Cats for 2 shots. She's shooting 87% on the year.
5th best in the Big 12. She leads this team in free throw shooting as a freshman. The talent that oozes from this Bearcat team is incredible.
Chloe Mann's first shot is up, and it's good. 55-48, the Bearcats lead as they start to pull away in the last 2 minutes. Chloe Mann gathers the ball ready for her second. That ball is up, and that is good. 56-48, the Bearcats lead. Timeout, Musketeers.
It's a 2.3 second differential between shot and game clock. And personally, I can't wait to talk to Katrina Merriweather in the post-game presser because this is going to be an incredible game. It's hard fought. It's the shootout. This is exactly what you'd imagine the shootout is. We saw it yesterday between the Xavier and Cincinnati men, and no disappointment here on the women's side of things either.
32.3 remains on the clock. As you mentioned, a 2.3 second differential from the game and shot clock. It'll be inbounded in front of the Xavier bench as the Bearcats take the floor. Caernarva's going to throw it in. Cross-court pass, got into Christie. Kicked it back outside. Mayo's 3 is up. That's no good. Off the rim, out of bounds it goes. Bearcat basketball.
That's big time. And with Xavier missing these big threes and big shots just down the line, it's almost going to be given to Cincinnati as they call a timeout on the other end of the floor.
Looks as if Abby Holtman's going to check back into the game for the Bearcats.
Had that big 2, and I think that moment was when the momentum really shifted in the favor of the Bearcats. And Abby Holtman, those clutch shots, that's how it's going to go down.
I would assume bringing her in 2 is as well a move for free throw shooting. As you know, you're probably going to get fouled. She's one of the better free throw shooters on the team so far.
Abby Holtman has been twice, made all 4, so she's 100%. But she just is a very strong shooter for the Bearcats, just all around.
For the Cats on the floor, it's going to be Ariel Jackson, Reagan Jackson, Jillian Hayes, Abby Holtman, and Chloe Mann. They're going to inbound this ball right in front of Katrina Merriweather on the UC sideline.
Cincinnati has 2 timeouts. Xavier has 1.
Musketeers retake the floor. A little discussion from the refs. 27.1 remains. Cats lead 56-48. Ariel Jackson gets the ball now, ready to inbound it. Sends it back into the backcourt to Chloe Mann. She's fouled immediately by Julia Garcia-Roche.
Shot clock now turned off, and that's exactly who you didn't want to foul going if you're Xavier. The best free throw shooter on the team and the 5th best in the Big 12.
So Chloe Mann with 6 points on the day, 2 for 2 from the line. We'll head to the line once again with 25.2 remaining. Steps up to the line, gathers the ball, ready for her first. Shot is up, and it's good. Gives the Bearcats a 9-point lead with 25.2 remaining. Looking to get the double-digit lead. Here is Mann. Second shot is up, and that's good as well.
And what poise from the freshman and Chloe Mann. Standing at the line, the Crosstown Shootout, one of the biggest rivalries in college basketball, and you're knocking down free throws like they're nothing.
Xavier takes their last timeout.
Great stuff from Cincinnati, and they're able to take this one, and they'll take it back home. Marshall is the next opponent. That's on Wednesday at 6:30. Big time last tune-up as the Bearcats will head out west and to Manhattan, Kansas for the conference opener coming up on Sunday.
Ball will be inbounded on the far sideline. It's going to be thrown in by Taylor Purvis. Ariel Jackson guards the ball. She kicks it on the way in. So we'll do it all over again.
Not the worst idea in the world.
Trying to disrupt something.
You see it all the time. Defenders trying to just kick the ball away, and I've seen very smart kicks as well.
I think, does that turns the shot clock back to 20 by chance?
No.
No, it doesn't.
Shot
Okay,
clock's already turned off.
They turned it back on for a second and turned it off.
No. I think it was just operator error.
So forget that, and Taylor Purvis will inbound it to Christie. Christie working on Hayes, drives inside. She was fouled on the way up. That's going to be called against Jillian Hayes.
Another interesting foul, I'll say, called on Jillian Hayes, but only her 3rd, and 21.4 seconds remaining. And Cincinnati has still had 3 fouls to give, so no shots yet for Xavier.
Hayes, we saw get 2 fouls early in the first quarter. That's her first foul since then. Inbounded to her, but Hayes knocks it away. We'll inbound it once again beneath the basket.
And this is when basketball takes its longest. The last 30 seconds are the most aggressive that you'll see, especially in a close game.
Thrown right into Ariel Jackson's hands, and the Bearcats will steal that one away, and she'll be fouled immediately.
Ill-advised pass. Taylor Purvis, 4th foul. Shots for Cincinnati, but I don't know what the inbounder was thinking throwing that pass, because it was straight at Ariel Jackson. She didn't have to move.
That was Ariel Jackson's 4th steal of the game.
Something that the Bearcats are very good at doing is stealing the ball away. 4th in steals per game in the Big 12 with 9.75.
Jackson makes her first. That gives the Cats an 11-point lead. 17.5 remains.
Safe to say this is all but over.
Cats icing on the cake here with that second one. They lead by 12. Xavier inbounds the ball as the clock dwindles down on this Crosstown Shootout. Bearcats foul Reagan Jackson immediately. You were not kidding when you said this would be the longest 30 seconds possible.
I've been around a while. So I know a thing or two, because I've seen a thing or two.
Lopez throws it in. Canarva has it. Takes it across midcourt. 8 seconds remains. And that's all but going to do it as the shot is thrown up by Mayo. It's no good. Rebounded by the Bearcats. And the Bearcats sweep the Musketeers on the weekend and win the Skyline Chili Crosstown Shootout.
Katrina Merriweather moves on to 11-0 against Xavier as a player and a head coach. And you can see it in this rivalry. The players love it, celebrating almost immediately coming out of this. And my goodness, what a game.
Final score of 60-48. The Bearcats win this one in the game on a 12-2 run over the final 3:30. Wasn't necessarily the cleanest game from the Bearcats, but they got the job done.
But I think that's just testament to what this rivalry is and just how physical, how gritty that this can be. Cincinnati finished shooting 32%. The Xavier's 39. Didn't make a single three-point bucket. They were 0 for 13. But the free throws, again, exactly what you want to do if you're the Bearcats. 24 of 30 from the stripe this season. Jillian Hayes giving it to the Xavier fans and jawing away at the rivals with assistant coach Abby Owings as well. I'm just absolutely loving it. And she's a Cincinnati native. She gets it. She knows what this rivalry means to the city and this university, and she is feeling it so far.
There's an assistant coach for the Musketeers trying to, she's just jawing at the Bearcats celebrating.
Oh, I missed it. Huh. But again, the rivalry, exactly what this is. And the rivalry trophy is going to stay in Clifton with the University of Cincinnati. Trophy ceremony about to be underway here, and this is Cincinnati avenging the loss in 2022, 60-48 against Xavier, extending the winning streak to 2-0 over the Musketeers. And I mean, the passion, it's exactly what you want between these two teams.
A program truly on the rise is this Bearcats women's basketball team. Truly impressive into this game as the Bearcats sweep the Musketeers on the weekend, 3-0, taking down the Musketeers in 3 different basketball games. What a showing from UC as a whole.
Exactly that, and I mean, that's just the sweep. Managers won on Friday, the men won on Saturday, the women win today, and it's going to be a nice closing out on Wednesday for the women's team as they host Marshall for the non-conference closing matchup before their conference opener in Manhattan, Kansas.
So with that, we will sign off from the Cintas Center. The Bearcats win the Crosstown Shootout 60-48 over the Xavier Musketeers. For Aiden Riggs and Ethan Herzog, we thank you for listening to Bearcat Sports Radio.